This presentation is brought to you by Smith & Sons. Well, my name is Hans Brunswick, and I'd like to welcome you to this live and exclusive reveal of the Pixel SimSports Holden ZB Commodore. Wherever you may be around the world, we welcome you to Burkina Faso for one of the most anticipated team reveals of the last century, I thought. And what a reveal we have for you today. We have a number of driver announcements that we will introduce the drivers. And first up, we will introduce the lead driver of Pixel SimSports, Brendan Ross.
Oh, I'm actually signed for the team.
So, Rossi, obviously it's been a big change for you in the off-season. Now, why and what made you decide to sign for Pixel SimSports?
Oh, look, mate, I think judging by an Enduro Cup series last year, there was a certain team that ended up the backbone of this core team that did quite well throughout that Enduro Cup. And I think bringing a couple of has-beens together for a complete season together might actually do something decent. Hopefully, back end of a top 10 might be a good showing for a team like this.
Now, Rossi, obviously you are joining the team with an undisputed number one status. Now, did that motivate your decision to join Pixel SimSports?
Look, I'm only just coming into the night realising that I'm lead driver now. I thought we were A and B, similar to Mercedes Petronas F1 Formula 1 team. But obviously not. We've obviously got a Lewis Hamilton and Valtteri Bottas situation going on here. But I think we can work something out going on throughout this season. Being lead driver is probably no issue for me.
Well, Rossi, it's been an exciting time for you in the off-season. Hopefully this season will be a good one for you, and you will be very ably joined by a certain Lewis Wedding, a renowned has-been and a part-team owner. Now, Lewis, what do you think about the driver lineup, and do you have any other drivers available that may be making a showing at some point in the year?
Yeah, look, I'll be completely honest. Rossi and myself weren't the first choice. We weren't even the second, third, or fourth. So
I knew it.
We were quite desperate. We hit up Craigslist, Reddit, Facebook, Gumtree. We looked everywhere. Racing Drivers R Us. Couldn't find anybody. We thought we had Dane and Ethan Warren lined up, but unfortunately, they decided to stay with their current teams because, I don't know, they were a little bit better than ours. So a little bit disappointing that, they pulled the rug from under us by declining us straight off the bat. But, with Rossi leading the team and myself just hoping not to get murdered every time I step on the racetrack, I'm sure that we can, maybe snag a top 15 here or there.
Yeah, that sounds like a very respectable sort of goal there, Lewis. Now, I just wanted to consider this. Now, you searched high, you searched low, you searched far, but not wide, oddly. And why didn't you look why didn't you look towards perhaps Misfits Racing for a potential driver?
Yeah, look, we've already got a wide driver in myself, I guess, but we didn't want to go too wide. We had a look at some of their data from ASC in the past, and it just didn't quite add up. It was a bit like Jos Verstappen back when he tested for Jordan in '99. He was, quite a bit off the pace, and we felt that, we're not quite at the privateer complete hack route, so we thought, okay, we'll just stick with, someone that we know can sort of qualify in the top 20.
And obviously a great showing from you, Lewis, and you, Rossi, in the Enduro Cup last year. Can we expect such amazing performances this season in sprint races?
No.
Absolutely not.
And very forthright answers there. We will now go towards the announcement of team sponsors. And Rossi and Lewis, you'll be pleased to hear that Vodafone has come on board as the title sponsor. So a telecommunications company, you can't go wrong. A couple of other major partners as well. We've got a major partner in Holden obviously still selling cars in Australia with their wildly successful ZB Commodore, top selling car in Australia, obviously. Another major partner, Red Bull, and Ampol, Beyond Blue, and some minor partners. Oh, sorry, Beyond Blue is a minor partner. Another minor partner in Sparko, GB Galvanizing, and Chico Rolls providing the fuel for the team to keep them going. Now, John Barnard has designed this old new chassis, so it's a used new chassis. They got it from 2018. These chassis were originally built. They've been rechristened PoS-1 and PoS-2. And boys, does anyone have a pick on either car at the moment?
Look, fully being lead driver, I don't have the FG Project Blueprint spec car. Hopefully I've got the FGX from the old LSS days that Representative Team has been. But Lewis being team owner, he might pull a little few strings there and might give himself a good car.
Yeah, no, look, I do want one of our drivers to be minorly successful, and knowing that I'm, well and truly over the hill. In fact, we've actually fallen off a cliff and, careening towards, some jagged edges down the bottom. So I've given Rossi the PoS-1.
Yes.
So he's got the old FGX that's, been through the walls a bit. Chassis, got some cracks in it and it's been held together by some tape and some other stuff. Which we can't tell you, but
did we fix it after the Sandown rollover?
It's actually drop top now, so you get some good air conditioning at least.
That's right.
But we've obviously converted that chassis over to the Holden ZB from the Ford Mustang, which was then previously an FGX. I've taken the route of I actually had to go and buy a new chassis because I'd actually use that chassis all throughout my racing here at AMS/ASR. So I had to go and try and find one that was relatively affordable, and I was only able to manage a car from 2006. So I took the HRT chassis that was used at Bathurst there for car 2, and
I've got the chassis number on it actually.
I did have
HRT 054.
Yeah.
For those playing at home, that's $400 a minute.
Yeah, so I took that off their hands pretty cheap. Just a couple minor dings in it, and sort of straightened her out just a little bit. But she'll do the trick. We're not the front running team. We don't have the money to sort of, even with Vodafone and Red Bull on board, don't quite have the money to sort of spend big bucks on a new chassis. But I'll be taking a number 2, so PoS-2 for me, and of course that'll be just like my driving, a big number 2.
And Lewis, obviously you mentioned that you've fallen off a cliff and you're careening into some jagged rocks at the bottom. Do you mean that you are careening not only into poor performances, but also into complete and utter irrelevance?
Complete and utter irrelevance. Yeah, that is for sure. So probably this time next year, you'll probably find me in a dumpster. And
that is a fantastic way to close out this. Now let's get some images of the car up, and this is the long-awaited reveal of Pixel SimSports. And we are waiting for the images, looking at this John Barnard design masterpiece. This is definitely going to be a tail end of the top 10 design. Fantastic livery. And boys, what do you think of this livery? Do you think that this is going to bring you some fantastic tail end of the top 10 results?
I'd like to think John has done a spectacular job with this car. It looks fast. It looked pink, but I've been told it actually looks red in person.
A little bit more red.
Now, John Barnard has said to me earlier that these are not the final development pieces on the car. They are actually doing a bit of subterfuge. So they are going back to the wind tunnel to make some development changes. Now, what do you boys think? Will you think that those developments will actually help or hinder your performances? And in the case of you, Lewis, is there something that will actually stop you from being a complete and utter has-been?
Look, yeah, I've seen what he's been doing in the CAD, and there's some incredible pieces that is going to go on this car that I feel are probably going to get banned just because they're going to be so dominant. So I've seen some stuff from back in the day where he's drawn some arrows and tools over the time. I reckon we could see something quite extraordinary, like X-Wings, like you used to see on the old Tyrrells back in '97, and some of the cars back in '98 make an appearance on these cars for extra downforce. Dive planes on the front, and maybe the front end might even look like the rumoured AU that was going to look more like a DTM car than an actual supercar from the late '90s there. So there's some exciting pieces in the pipeline that we can't wait to get a hold of.
You know what, Hans? I actually visited the Aerodynamics Facility yesterday. It was actually sponsored by Smith and Sons, quite ironically.
There you go, Smith and Sons.
They actually upgraded the other day
Obviously,
from
give them a plug.
yeah, they actually upgraded the other day from 2 Big W fans to about 6 Kmart fans the other day. So the wind tunnel is increased by 8 times.
So that's a massive investment by the team there. Rossi, do you expect the results to come with that?
No.
And that is obviously the answer we're looking for. Now, we also consider, we've been hearing rumours from the testing in the wind tunnel that there may be some porpoising. Can you boys confirm or deny, or give us the old neither confirm nor deny response? Will we see porpoising when this car rolls out for the test?
I can 100% confirm there will be porpoising. There's going to be flex on the front splitter and the rear wing, as well as the wing mirrors. So, look, this is a pretty extreme design, and we're hoping it's going to come off, of course.
Well, that's fantastic, boys, and it's always a pleasure to speak to you. Brendan Ross, number 1 driver. Lewis Wedding, complete has-been and part team owner and number 2 driver. And my name is Hans Brunswick, and I've had the pleasure of presenting Pixel SimSports this evening. Live from Burkina Faso, we will see you on the racetrack soon, and this will be a very, very exciting time this year. For John Barnard, who couldn't come this evening, he was actually caught up at a FIA hearing on illegal parts. I do extend his regards, and we thank you for tuning in to the Pixel SimSports Reveal. Bye for now.
This has been another presentation from Smith and Sons.